Well, we're back from half-time, just about to tap off. Storm are trailing
4-2.
4-2. You had a listen into the huddle at half-time as the Rabbitohs are just below us on the balcony here, Gary. What did you pick up from what they said?
So there was two people talking. Ryan Pollock, who was part of this team but's done his shoulder, so he's taken on the coaching duties. He basically just said that they need to complete their sets, get to the other end. He did say that watch out for the experienced players who are smart enough to know when to niggle and when to put their foot in the ruck, and there's going to be times where they're going to try and do that to gain an advantage. One thing that was very interesting, what they said, is that they've only made 2 mistakes in the half, and both those times led to tries. So mine was very much about making sure they complete sets. Big play there. He was actually gone then. Jonesy had opened it up, but old Jacob Hall has read it a treat, and all of a sudden from 4-3 we've now gone to 5-2 to the Rabbits.
Yes, that was a lovely hole to open up there. Jonesy created it beautifully. You don't see too many intercepts thrown from Jonesy. It'll be interesting on the replay to see that the players got onside.
Well, I think Jonesy did run. In fairness, Jonesy did run a fair way with it. I think his trailing person was probably a little bit slow on it, which gave Jacob the opportunity to read the play. And now the Rabbits are 5-2 up, so that halftime talk comes into play even more.
Well, they get a repeat set here, as it were. The Storm, let's see if they can score off the back of this. Tyler Ward, left to right, nice. Nice pass. Good defence, probably not quite the right line from the
I
there.
thought he probably should have been running out then, not in.
And the Rabbits, living colour Rabbitohs, come off their line.
Find him. Here's a chance.
A little fumble. They get that.
Little kick in the ruck. They're not happy with that, but he's actually ruled that he pushed him in the ruck, not kicked him in the ruck. Kicked the ball in the ruck, sorry, not the player. And that'll help the Rabbits.
So what we try and talk about here from a refereeing perspective, what we're looking for there is a second effort in the touch. So we're happy for strong physical touches, but if you've made that strong physical touch and you try and twist or push the player after the touch.
Here's a chance. He's got there. And 6-2, great play from Dave and Prince, just ran a quarterback there. Got the guy to bite in and then had the numbers.
Well done. Great attacking from the Rabbitohs.
I tell you what, you got to give Scott Prince credit. He's so fit. Like, he ain't no spring chicken anymore, and he's on there for a lot of sets.
On social media, you see him at the gym every day. He puts a post up. Whether he goes every day or not, he puts a post up every day.
I think he told me before that he does 3 posts in the one day. Like, so he takes 3 pictures and he just uses them for the next couple of days if he sleeps.
But he certainly spends a lot of time training, does Scott, and good on him for doing it, keeping himself fit and healthy.
Yeah.
And to be able to play at this level still, he's not old by any stretch of the imagination, Gary, but he's definitely beyond prime age, you would say.
I think what's a really good thing about Scott is that he's showing these kids how to be professional athletes.
Yeah.
He doesn't have. He's not playing league anymore. He doesn't have to get up at 6 o'clock and do that. But his pride, he wants to turn up here and be the best player he can be, and that's why he's getting up at 6 o'clock and doing that stuff. So he teaches these guys nothing comes easy, and you just hope that a few of these guys realise that if they put in the same amount of time, then they're going to get the same rewards he's getting.
And it is, we talked about Dave Maher and his progress as a player, and again, it's from the time he's put into the game, coaching, playing, participating, training, etc. And Scott Prince is the same. And
Dave studies a lot of the other players and what moves they do. So a lot of the stuff he's doing, he's like, okay, this guy's getting it. This is what he does. So when he does this, I'll be in this position. So his is, as I said, a lot of study behind the scenes. So that's what's helping him read and why he's so clinical in defence most of the time, because he actually reads the play well and he can tell the player next to him what play's coming up.
Going back a while, but another sport, I spoke to some people. I was a little bit involved in the AFL all at different levels. But here we go again. The Rabbits are away, and Scotty puts that fitness to the work there with that sprint. And
Kingston's done well to recover then, because that was a good ball.
It was a very, very agile recovery from Kingston. The smartest AFL players, they would study their opponents for the week ahead too. They would know what side of the ball to stand on at stoppages, what predominant hand they have. So all those things are features that professional athletes would know about their opposition. So that sort of study you're talking about from Dave Maher is a credit to him, but it's also one of the great things we have here at Palm Beach Touches video. We put video up every week of every game on Field 1, and if you want to find out what a player can do, you just got to pull up the tape and watch it.
Yeah, and I know a lot of the times when I used to go to the Australian, playing the Australian side, Gavin Shuker was the same. He was pretty much the first guy that watched all that and studied it, and he knew, he would say, this guy can't throw left to right, he can only do this, so being this. I used to say to him, can you tell me what I do, because I don't even know, I just make it up as I go along, and he'd say, you do this, this and this, and I was like, oh wow, I actually think I do. So the guys that have got time and want to get better will do that. And as you said, you're filming it every week, so if you're smart and you want to find out how to get a few little cheat sheets, then watch the players you're going to be playing against.
It really comes down to what do you want to do? Watch The Bachelor or watch some touch and study to get better and develop your skills?
Maybe Love Island, but not The Bachelor.
That's a great resource, and we encourage our referees to look at the games as well. Oftentimes I get players talk to me about specific decisions in games, and we say to them, "Well, let's go to the video." Wow, we didn't knock one first.
Yeah, let's see. This is what I like when the two refs get together. Yeah. I think that if you're the sideline ref and you can see that the referee on the field is making a wrong decision, then help him out. Don't go, it's not I can't do that. See. And I like that, because they have made the right decision by communicating.
That's exactly what we want to do.
And that's why we've got three of them there.
That's a great example. And being a bit lazy here, the Storm.
Well, I think that...
we would have thought that fitness-wise it would have tested the Rabbitohs before this game more than the Storm, but it's not proving to be that way.
Well, I think what's happening, the Rabbitohs are playing from in front, so they know just get down here complete. They're putting what Ryan Pollock said at half-time. Look, they're on the try line here.
There you go, sweep it of Princey, and a good touch made.
And the link got him there.
Jonesy and the link got him. Yeah. Interesting wrong-handed touch there from Jonesy on the line, but anyway, he's good enough to do whatever he likes as far as
But they're completing the sets, and they're going to turn it over here, providing they don't throw an intercept here. They're going to turn it over on the try line, which is exactly where they want to be.
Steps back, gets the pass away, and the winger's in miles of space. They just didn't have the legs and the arm to get there.
But good set. That's all they need to do. They're up by 4. And I tell you what, when you're down by 4 and you look up, that 70 metres is a long way.
Yes, it is. It certainly is. And the clock says 12 minutes. That makes it even further.
Yeah. One thing that we were talking about the referees and working and watching videos, I think the key is, I know it depends who's coaching the refs, but a lot of the time I think the refs can communicate better with the players, because at the end of the day the players know what they're doing and why they're doing it, where the refs probably don't as such. So they're refereeing based on what their assessor's telling them, but they probably,
So what we do there, Gaz, and it's good for people to know. So we have as many as we can. We haven't done as many this season as we can, but we normally get together with video footage with the referees before a season starts and during the season, and we pull some things out that we want to work on as groups of referees. As a matter of interest, we always invite the Super Series captains to those, and there's a nice shutdown again from the winger. We want the players involved in those meetings. Yeah. Unfortunately, for whatever reason, and everyone's busy, we haven't had many players come to those sessions. Yeah. So that's one way we can help build that communication, but certainly we encourage our referees to be able to talk to players.
Yeah, because I think it's very important here that, especially when you're a club, the referees are part of your club too, and so you don't want the players not wanting to, or the refs not wanting to talk to the players. Everyone's doing it. Everyone's doing it coming here to play, and as a lot of people have got stuff going on in their lives, so the touch should be a safety net for you. So the player doesn't want to come down and abuse the ref, and I'm sure the ref doesn't want to be abused. So the more they can talk to each other and try and work together, then I think the more beneficial it's going to be for everyone, because the refs can get better listening to the players too.
Now, I'm definitely someone, Gary, that used to have some problems talking to referees in my young years, and one of the things that helped me me was just the realisation that you and I could be seeing exactly the same thing from a different position on the field and read it completely differently.
Yep.
And so the ability just to ask a question and just accept the answer. Nice hard touch there, and he got away with that one.
There's a bit of a foot in there. I think when you see the ball spin, and see, this is the one that I'm saying to you, I feel that the sideline ref should jump in and say, hey. But anyway, it is what it is. I guess I speak to Dave a bit, and I said to Dave, if the refs are missing it, then let's not put the ball anywhere near there. Like, we're putting it in a position to say, I reckon it's going to be a penalty here, and if they're not seeing it, well, don't put it there, and you won't have to worry about the 50-50
Well, we heard Ryan Pollock talk about that at half-time. He said to his players, do not put the ball near the player that's making the touch.
Yep.
Fight to get to the
And
side.
he did say that, the experienced players are going to try and milk a few things now and take the bit of a risk of trying to, risk for reward, trying to get the cheap turnover.
And that was one there for the Rabbits.
Here's a chance, left to right ball, winger. Inside.
Ball.
Oh, what a great touch.
Steve Murray again on a diving touch. So he was gone for all money. That was a great recovery. There's been some good players from the wingers from the Storm here. Despite them trailing, they really have kept them in the game.
Yep.
And we're saying that as their 4 down.
60.
Yeah. We're saying that as their 4 down, but they really have. It could be much worse than that without their wingers. Still plenty of time.
There's a long time to go here.
But I must say that we're not seeing anything from the Storm that would say there is a comeback on the cards.
Well, I think, as I said before, when you're down by 4, it zaps a bit of energy, and they've only got 4 subs, and that's probably not allowing their better players the chance to just sit back and pick when they need to play. They're actually having to defend and drive the whole time, so it's not giving them that opportunity to set on the line.
I don't think we should underestimate the point you made earlier about the coach as well, right? So not having a coach in the box that can actually assess the game without having to do something in the game, it makes a huge difference. And a quality coach like Ryan Pollock, who knows what he's doing.
And even just him going up to him and saying, keep going, mate, you're going well. Yeah. And pumping his tyres up a little bit. It gives you that little bit of extra energy.
Mostly in our men's Super Series, the men's captain coaches have not often had coaches. The women's are much better at getting a coach to work with them in that division. But I highly rate having coaching.
Well, I guess in the men's there's probably a larger spread of senior players. So they're like, there's 4 of us that are going to talk at half-time. We don't
need a coach.
Ryan's really doing it because he's injured. He would have been playing otherwise. But whilst they probably miss him.
I think there's value from someone who cannot have to get in the game and look at it.
100%. And that's the difference. That's like what we were talking about before about talking to the refs. The refs buggered and he's under the pump, and the players buggered and he's under the pump. So when they're talking to each other, it's probably not coming out politically correct because they're struggling to breathe. Whereas Ryan's been able to assess it, and he's not emotionally or physically attached to it, so he can talk a lot calmer.
Yes, agreed completely. Good points. That's a turnover midfield from the Storm, and let's see if it's costly. If they can score here, it'll definitely put the game to bed. You would think with 7 minutes to go. Or we think they're 4 up. 6-2 looks to be the result so far.
Oh, he's called him off here, Link. Oh. Good call. That's good. They're working together. You'd have to think, I'm going to call it early, you'd have to think that Storm's going to struggle to score 5 without leaking one along the way. Every time they score, that means Rabbits get a tap off from halfway.
Yeah.
It means Dave and Prince get a shot like that, and they get the try.
Very nice low pass, good diving catch from the winger out there.
Tell you what, he's had a good game on the wing out there.
Yes, he has.
Good finisher, and he's also saved a few tries.
The defence was rightly in, trying to shut that down. The pass was too good.
As I said, they know Prince and Dave have worked on a lot of stuff, and they know which lines to run to put that defence under pressure there. So they're up by 5 now, 7 to go.
Let's see, Nathan Jones has just had a word to Kingston. He's got Tyler to tap the ball off. We've got Darryl out there as well as... It's quite an attacking group they've got out there. The Storm, let's see what they can...
It's definitely their A team here.
See what they can conjure up.
But I think the Rabbits have put their A team on in defence here too.
Down and go. No.
Good deep.
Inside the 7 there, so the players are able to stand their ground rather than having to move forward.
Oh. It's called him off. Good step there from Tyler.
Yeah, nice step.
Knew that Dave was competing there. Dave will probably think he's on there, but
got to get both feet behind on the line, on and behind the line. So John was right there on that.
Yeah, I think he got that one right.
And they get one back. Some consolation there for them.
Gives them a little bit of a sniff.
5 minutes, 20 seconds to go roughly.
You can see by the Rabbits there's milking every second of this. They just know get to the other end, complete the sets.
Oh, that's all the ground.
Get to the other end, complete the sets.
And I think you just put the marker on him as we say there.
Just shouldn't be making that mistake on the first touch.
It's late in the game, you take it easy, and concentrate for a split second, and there you go, you cover the ball. It's also quite humid out there, so probably quite slippery, the ball as well.
And they've still got the big guns on here, so let's see if they can get another one.
Tyler steps up, opens, Dave Marr gives him the space, and that's not enough on the pass.
And good defence by Blaze out there.
Forward even, it's been called. So not even a chance to score. Well defended in the end.
It's probably not as an intense game as we thought, but as we said before, with all these players backing up and limited subs, it was always going to be a game where they had to play a bit slower and a bit smarter.
Yeah, there's been some moments of some pace in the game, but overall you would say it hasn't been at a peak intensity.
We're talking about the Storm jerseys?
We're talking
because this club got a team and more on the sideline.
Oh, had numbers there.
good diving touch by the link. And they get the turnover. And Nathan trying to get his team to move forward. Tyler set the example here as well.
I think Nathan will get him to the line here for one shot.
Kingston kicks out, back to Tyler. Nice keeping the ball alive here. You know, you're sort of asking where's this been.
Here's a chance. Got him.
And, if he'd popped that ball late, Tyler would have walked it in.
He's read that well, but Prince.
Yep. Kingston trudges back to Tyler to play the ball. Ooh. Oh, nice dive from Jacob Hall. Matty Bowker got the step, got stood up.
Well, he's meant to he's not want to chase in there, so he's probably done the right thing and sent him to Hawley. So that's the policy. Even though it looks like from here he's been beat, he's actually sticking to policy, so
well played.
See, they're just completing now, look.
Nice driving set, last touch, and they're going to get the ball down there as far as they can. That'll do. Only 2.5 minutes to go now. Closing sets of this. Dominant performance by the Rabbitohs. At least 4 touchdowns up. Tyler picks up.
Got away with one there, Corey, but
might have been a little short in the 7. Tyler, rather than wanting to take on the short side, was always going to step back there.
Yeah.
That was a nice fast run from the winger, but Kurt Stevens is quick.
Just going through the motions now. The Rabbits, they know they're up by plenty. They just got to complete the sets. But you got to give them credit. They've listened to Pollock's words, haven't they?
Yeah,
Get to the other end, minimise the mistakes.
They have completed. They've got the ball. Even though that was a turnover, it's down the end of the park. Storm got all the work in front of them and not enough time left to do it. Moving, just as we close out the game here, Gary, we move into our new Season 1 for 2020, and the Super Series registrations will be opening in shortly, so if you're interested in playing, register at palmbeachsuch.com. For those of you who may be watching who play for Sharks in the NTL, we always have an incentive for our Sharks players to come and play Super Series. They get a discount. If you're playing Sharks NTL, you can play Super Series at a discounted rate. Nice scoop there from Tyler. Couldn't find a loose player. The referees are talking about whether or not...
It's good again. So they consulted with each other and they came up with the right decision. That's what we want. There's 3 of them out there. Talk to each other and help each other.
So really, this has been a good win by the Rabbits. They put the first 2 touchdowns on, and they have not really been challenged since. So congratulations to Dave Maher and his team.
It's been a while since Dave's won one too. I think he's a couple of runners up.
He has lost a couple.
Impressed.
And he had. So well done to the Rabbitohs, Living Colour Rabbitohs over the. It's on the changeover. It's just a roll ball anyway. Goes back to the players. No changeover there.
And you've got sponsors this year, Matt. You've brought sponsors.
The teams have been sponsored. So Living Colour with the Rabbitohs, and you can see the Purple Brick Storm, financial planning business. And those sponsors will be back for us next season as well in the season 2 2020.
Nice.
That's the game there. Congratulations to Dave Maher and the Living Colour Rabbitohs on a great victory in our men's Super Series final for season 2 2019.
Drawn matches, raise your hands. Referees, drawn matches, raise
Pretty
hands,
comprehensive in the end, wasn't it?
Very comprehensive. Thanks to Gary Zonda, legend, for joining us on the commentary box. We'll see you next season. PalmBeachTouch.com.
Cheers, mate.